Hi. You know, I came here and I thought to myself, I'm not going to raise my hand this time. And then my hand just went up. I have actually two things I want to talk to you about.
You want to talk about control of your hands?
No, I'll deal with that one.
Could be a problem.
It could be, but that's maybe the next time. My life has gotten so amazingly good. And I remember you talking a couple of years ago about how we were all going to get to be so good at this that we're going to just think something and then it manifests. And that's what I feel like is happening right now.
That's what life inside the vortex is like.
It's so amazing.
Yes.
And we moved to this state, and all of a sudden everything just started falling into place. And I have the best friends I've had in my life. I have 6 beautiful horses. I have the chickens that give me eggs every single day. I've got 2 donkeys patrolling my property. My son is so happy. We love this place. The sun shines every single day. The sun comes up. And it stays up all day, and then it goes down. It's just amazing.
Are you writing this down?
It's just, I'm so happy. And I'm that mother who will come out of the vortex for her college-age son.
So every now and again,
some help with that.
So every now and again, from inside the vortex, where there are so many wonderful things happening, something happens, and when you focus upon it, because of the habit of thought you have about that subject, you introduce a vibration to the mix of your vibration, so the vortex spits you out.
Yes. And we want
to talk about that because we know we're having fun with the way the vortex spits you out. But another way of saying it is there are things about your son that caused you to activate a vibration because you've practiced it that way for so long. So what's necessary is you have to find some inside the vortex chronic thoughts about this same subject.
Yes.
Now,
I think there's some guilt.
All guilt is the indication that you're not in the vortex. You can call it anything you want, but of course if you're not in the vortex, there's an indication that you're not in the vortex. So whether you call it guilt or something else is irrelevant. You're not in the vortex. That's the only thing that's relevant. I don't feel as good as I should feel. And the reason I don't feel as good is because I haven't practiced the thoughts about this that allow me to stay in the vortex. You see, it's possible that you could have a conversation with us about, you could say, I'm in the vortex, I'm feeling so good, I'm so often in the vortex, I'm mostly in the vortex, except occasionally I think of something that takes me out of the vortex, and we say, well then don't think about that thing that takes you out of the vortex and just stay in there. But when it is your child, it's not like you can just all of a sudden suck back every thought you've ever had and come to a place of non-existence because your life, including that child, has caused you to put your vibrational escrow version of that child into your vortex.
Yes.
In other words, you think that, or most do, that when they feel negative emotion about a relationship or about an issue or about a person is because there are things about that need to be fixed. And if we can just make you understand that there aren't things about that need to be fixed, that caused you to put a vibrational escrow version there. And now you're looking back at that version instead of at the version of your expansion. Did you get that? In other words, so many people say, if you would just be different, then I could stay in the vortex all the time. You say to your son, my chickens in the vortex. My donkeys in the vortex. My 5 horses in the vortex. The sun comes up every morning. I'm in the vortex, and then there's you. Then there's you. We say the only reason that's bothering you so much is because you've lived so much life. There is not anything that causes you to put more in the vortex than your attention to your own child. Your relationship with your child has caused you to create a vibrational escrow version that now you, regardless of what's going on over here, that you have to live up with. It's your own mind discipline that is responsible for your negative emotion, not what someone else is doing.
He's at college. He's having a pretty tumultuous first year.
Irrelevant. irrelevant.
You called on me.
Irrelevant to your being in the vortex.
Yeah.
Irrelevant to your being in the vortex. Because what you're saying is, Abraham, through life, I've loved this person more than I can even say.
Yeah.
And we've had our ups and downs, and through all this contrast, I have created the most beautiful version of him in my vibrational escrow. But I don't have the self-discipline to focus upon that. Instead, I focus upon the step one part of him. So as I do that, I keep coming out of the vortex. And we say, well, stop it. Focus upon who he really is.
Okay.
When Jesus healed others, as they sat before him dripping their illness, he wasn't looking at them in their ill state. He was looking at their vibrational escrow version of them. He stayed in tune with who they really were, not with who they were temporarily being in the moment.
Okay. So what you're saying is I'm coming out of the vortex because I'm focusing on this tumultuous emotional stuff that's going on.
Not only that, you're coming out of the vortex because you're focusing upon it, and then because of the conflict and contrast and drama.
I can't fix it.
It's all right. Because of the contrast and drama and trauma, you're creating even more in the vibrational escrow.
I know I said guilty earlier, and you said it's not relevant, but I feel there's a part of me that feels like if I was a better mom, I'd be able to fix this.
Well, that's a whole other conversation, isn't it? That's a whole other conversation. And so we'll put it to you in these terms. It's not about being a better mom. It's about being a better focuser. It's about seeing who he is rather than who he is temporarily being.
Okay.
And another thing that's really interesting, that another dynamic of this is that when a child sees his mother, even though he begged you to come out of your vortex to cavort with him, now that you're out there suffering, he feels guilty about that too. In other words, if you would focus upon your vibrational escrow version of him, if you would remember who he really is and all that life is meaning for him, and refuse to see the unsuccessful or the uncomfortable part, you would then, like your inner being is being for you, calling you in, you would be that for him, calling him in the direction of it, you see.
Okay.
So let's see if we can find some words that briefly explain this issue about the difficulty that your son is having in college. In other words, what's the issue?
It's hard for me to see him in pain.
All right, so we'll let this unfold naturally. It's hard for me to see him in pain. So let's state it even more clearly. His pain brings me pain.
Yes.
That's why it's hard for you to see.
And I know that's all. I know that's screwy. I know it is.
Oh, it isn't. It's the most natural thing in the world. I feel pain when I look at the pain of my son. How's that for the best statement? My attention to my son's pain is causing me pain. So the center of the vortex is, I love focusing myself into joy.
Yeah.
Isn't that the opposite of that?
Yes.
So the statement is, so you know what you don't want. What you do want is, I love control of my own thoughts that hold me in a place of chronic joy. Ooh, that felt pretty good, didn't it?
Yes.
So I love having so much in my life that feels good that I can focus upon.
Yeah.
I love having the discipline to focus upon the things that feel good. I love the examples that my chickens are of well-being. I love the beasts that surround me and the well-being that they exhibit. I love feeling the overall well-being of this planet. I love the life that I've created. I'm so proud of myself. I love knowing about law of attraction. I love focusing myself into alignment. I love being a deliberate creator. I love knowing the power of my thoughts. I love having awareness of my own guidance system. I love knowing that it tells me if I'm in or out of the vortex. I love knowing that when I'm in, that's wonderful, and I love knowing when I'm out that I can get in. I love knowing that step one is part of the process. I love the expansion of my life. I love the expansion of my life that my son has helped me to achieve. I love the co-creation that we've been a part of, and I love the expansion that both of us received as a result of co-creating together. I love being in this together. I love being in the vortex and maybe being a catalyst to inspire him in. I love knowing that it's not his job to put me in the vortex. And I love knowing that it's not my job to bring him in the vortex. I love knowing that it's my job to be in my vortex. And I love knowing that I can get in anytime I want. I love how good it feels once I'm in the vortex. I love exercising my thoughts inside the vortex. I'm not afraid to think a thought that might spit me out of the vortex because I know how to get right back in the the vortex. I know how consistently to be in the vortex. I love giving everyone else the benefit of the doubt. I love my son having his exposure to life and creating his own vibrational reality. I wouldn't take back one contrasting bit of his experience because I wouldn't deprive him of one thing that he's putting in his vibrational reality. I love freeing him to live the life that he is meant to live. I love knowing that I did what as a parent I was meant to do. I provided an avenue through which he found physical experience, and after that he has his own guidance system. He's got his own vortex. What was I thinking? It was never my job to stand as the representative of his vortex. All I could ever do as I stand as the representative of someone else's vortex is detract them from their own awareness of their own vortex. It's a wonderful thing that I can now say to my son, I love you so much, and you should see the version of you I've got going on. You should see the version of you. I know who you are. I remember who you are. I can see who you are. When I get in my vortex and I see who you are, I know the power of your being, and I'm never going to look back in opposition to what I know you to be.
Yes. Yes.
There.
All right. I know he's powerful.
Very good.
I'm not getting up.
Very good.
I have something else.
You are aware that we have left nothing undone. Do you know that you were source energy before you came forth into this physical body? Do you know that a part of you has come forth into this body? Do you know that the contrast is inspiring the expansion of you? Do you know that your emotions let you know whether you're keeping up right now or not? Do you know that you can't not keep up, but you could hold back temporarily? Do you know that when you hold back, it doesn't feel too good? But do you know when you hold back, it causes you to ask for more? And do you know if you still hold back, it causes you to ask for more? And if you still hold back, it causes you to ask for more? And you know eventually your vortex is spinning so fast and calling you in such a profound way that every now and again, when you're not looking, when you're not resistant, when you're at ease, when you're basking, when you're appreciating, the vortex takes you in and gives you a glimpse of who you are. That's that rush that we were talking about just now. You like knowing about the vortex. Has it put your life into greater context? Do you realize the power with which you've come forth into this experience? Do you know that life is supposed to feel good for you? Do you know that you cannot get it wrong? And you never get it done. And the reason you can't get it wrong is because it's never done. So when it feels the wrongest, that's when you're asking for the more. And when you ask for more, the source within you just calls you harder, you see. So we think this gathering has been well named, the art of allowing. The art of allowing me to be a vibrational match to who I really am. The art of allowing me, through the choices of the thoughts that I'm thinking, to line up with who life has caused me to become. This has been a particularly wonderful gathering. We've appreciated all of you, whether you sat in the chair or not. As someone put forth a question, it activated vibrations all over the room, and the question expanded, and we could feel the power of what you were asking. Together today we have taken thought beyond that which it has been before. But then that's happening all day, every day anyway, isn't it? In other words, you can't fail at your expansion. It is assured. What we are wanting with every word that we offer, and every book that we write, and every process that we spew, is that you will find some way to release a little more resistance and allow yourself a little closer proximity to your vortex. Because it is with everything that we are that we wish for you the majority of the days of this life be lived from inside the vortex. We want you to know with clarity the power and value of that which is you. We want you to feel the pride within you for your contribution to this time-space reality and all that is, that defies anything that anyone has ever felt. We want you to feel appreciation for the others with whom you share your planet. We want you to know that without exception, every one of them is a part of that which you are. You've come here to share this contrasting experience for the purpose of expansion, but not just for the purpose of expansion, because that is an inevitable consequence of beingness, for the purpose of joyous expansion. Life is supposed to feel good to you, and when it doesn't, something is screwy. We've enjoyed this interaction immensely, and as always we remain joyously, blissfully, infinitely, eternally incomplete.